Welcome to Below the Headline.
The political podcast that looks past the noise.
I'm your host Alicia, and I'm joined by Samson, Benny, Luca and Adam. On the topic of immigration, so Benny, please, you were just saying, carry on.
Immigration is being touted as too big of an issue by the right of politics specifically. Too much is made of kind of blood and soil when England, I think England's values are totally different from that. It's not about the colour of
Benny,
people's skin or how they talk.
Are you putting Keir Starmer on the right or left of politics? Because we have a Prime Minister who's posting on the government TikTok about deporting people and is following like what Donald Trump's doing. I mean, so...
Well, Labour is obviously just bending to the will of the electorate. That's not their natural position. They're trying to win back voters from reform, and I don't think we should count anything.
As
Keir
any
Starmer
party
says.
would have as well.
So are you more for open borders, Benny? Let everyone in.
I'm not
undocumented.
I'm not for open borders, but I think there's too much scare around immigrants. I think the vetting procedure we have for immigrants and who can come here, and obviously some people should not be able to come here.
Yeah, it should be a lot stricter.
I quite like the Scandinavian model where it's you come to the country but you have to make your own way. There's no funding, there's no benefits to them. It's like you'll come because you have a job, you have a skill that you can provide to the country. You won't be a burden.
That's what I'm
That's
proposing
essentially
as well.
what healthy immigration is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
but the
come to a
thing
country
is
and
we
you
can't do
provide.
that because we're bound by human rights laws and international law. Which sucks. But this is why reform's
the
going
thing
on
is-
about leaving the ECHR. I mean, it's just crazy.
Okay, so I can see why you're saying maybe immigrants are being scapegoated. I can. Is that what
You
you're
just
trying
do,
to say?
you just do finger quotations at me.
However, we cannot keep on going with these
You've
numbers.
got to dig yourself out this hole now, Luca. Get digging.
Carry on, Luca. Carry
We
on.
cannot keep on going with these numbers of people who are being kept in 4-star hotels on the beaches in getting.
Robert Jenrick's policy, by the way.
Yeah, well, he was bragging about that a couple of years ago, but how can you say we can keep on going with these undocumented legal migrants taking so much in benefits and
Yeah, in
in
fact,
tax, and then they're not.
sorry.
Yeah, they may work a Deliveroo job, but they're not working proper jobs. They're not actually giving back to the.
Well, no,
country.
they don't work.
Undocumented illegal immigrants, those are asylum seekers.
Yeah, so asylum seekers can't actually work, but also it costs
But they do.
£40,000. They work illegally,
They buy
of course.
people. There's literally a market right now where you sell your Uber Eats account,
Yep.
and then people take your account and they do your Uber Eats on your behalf. It's
Yeah,
a well-known
it's crazy.
thing.
But anyhow, as I was saying, each asylum seeker costs about £40,000, and there's a 100,000 to 300,000 backlog. So
The
it's,
numbers add up, don't they?
yes,
Didn't realise we were talking about asylum seekers and illegal immigrants specifically. I thought we were talking about legal immigration.
let's talk about all of it, Benny. Yeah,
We
so
were just talking
so
about
those are crazy
legal,
numbers,
it'd be
though.
boring.
The amount of money that goes towards them is outrageous, and this is why people are getting so frustrated about it. I mean, we're a country, however flawed, we are a country of values, and when we see that something is unjust, people do rise against it, even if it's a little bit extreme.
Values. Hear that so much, don't you? But what
Yes.
does it actually mean?
Values
British
is
values.
Like, values is like growth. It just,
I'm
what, does
thinking
it,
of it-
what does it mean?
I think it's like
Is there a real
knowing right from
meaning?
wrong. I mean, when you're brought up in the British institutions and the school systems, they kind of teach you right from wrong, whereas when people are coming from different
Well,
countries, they don't have the same kind of...
If you've noticed, actually, in
Blueprint.
schools we're being taught. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
We're
go
being
ahead.
taught very left-wing things in our
No,
schools.
we are not
Elaborate.
being taught left-wing things.
That's
Yeah,
actually
yes,
crazy.
we
We are a
are.
liberal country, you know this. Even though we have a voting system, it is very liberal.
You don't get taught left. Okay, what
Oh, okay, you do,
left-wing
Benny.
things?
You do, Benny. You do, Benny. Benny. Were you in a private? Before you came up to the school, were you in a private school?
Yeah, I wasn't.
You were.
I was,
Okay,
yes.
thank you very much.
I know.
When I was in my state school back in Sheffield, I'm not forgetting my roots. I remember we being taught about welcoming everyone, I mean, we had in PSHE lessons. This is brought through by the government. This PSHE, it's mandatory. And we're being taught things about asylum seekers, refugees, everything.
No, he's
How can you
actually-
say that's,
he's
how can you say
actually-
that's not
he's actually
political?
correct,
I've
okay?
been to a school where that is being taught.
He's actually correct,
You know,
okay?
thank
You
you very
only have
much.
to look. You
Thank you
only
very
have
much.
to.
You're being taught to love your neighbour in PSHE. Goodness gracious.
Oh, Benny, you've never been
Look,
there.
I-
Officers they send
This
us
is bollocks.
these days.
This is bollocks.
If I could just raise a point, It's going viral on the internet right now, this video game by Prevent, which is a government-led organisation regarding the issue of immigration. I'm actually going to talk
Thank
you all through.
Thank you, Samson.
Yesterday, I took the time to play this video game in my own time, and it was quite the experience.
It's almost like you knew we were going to talk about it.
I know, but
It's
yesterday,
almost like he chose the topic.
yesterday I sat down and I played this video game, and you get presented with these. I mean, I don't even know how to describe the scenarios. One scenario was you're in a group chat on the internet and you get sent a video from this person who sort of stirs up stuff online. What do you do with the video? Do you A, tell a trusted adult, B, open the video as instructed, or C, ask the person to elaborate on what's on the video? How about I block the guy who I don't know who's
Report
pressuring me on the
it
internet?
to the Starmer police,
Yeah.
1984,
No,
get
but
him arrested.
Genuinely, this is the
It's
point I'm going on here.
Well, no.
The amount, it is Orwellian. This video game is Orwellian because it's mandatory in some state schools that they have to do this. It's been reported on the Telegraph, for example. Amazingly reliable Telegraph. They've
I
been
know, it's
reporting
crazy.
this. And it's mandatory for schools to go through this process. You then have to watch a 5-minute long video at the end, reflecting on your actions that you took throughout the game, telling you that if you did agree with this girl that immigration has gotten out of hand, you will have to be sent to this organization that re-educates you. Yes.
Oh,
wow. No, genuinely, the government
It's
determines you to have been influenced by terrorist thoughts, and you have to be re-educated and taught proper British values. It's
Well, I mean, Prevent is an early anti-terrorist.
that's the whole point of it.
But,
It's
but if she's saying, bash their heads in and what is she actually saying?
so one of the
How are you even
scenarios.
agreeing? How are you?
No,
even
I'm not.
slightly-
I totally agree.
One of
this is
the-
totally dystopian.
One of the
but-
scenarios was that the protagonist is in college and he didn't do too well on his college exam. However, one of his peers did do well in their college exam, and this led to them being given a job. I don't know how, but they got a job through this exam. And the girl, she realized how upset this boy was, and she told him, "You realize this is all the work of immigrants. They've taken our jobs." And you have 3 options. You either ignore her, you agree with her, or you just remain neutral on the matter, because at the end of the day, it is clarified that she's your friend. For the sake of science, I chose the agree with her. It was a bit misleading, however. Rather than quietly say, you're onto something, sure, maybe the immigrants are taking your jobs, you shout loudly in the class how the immigrants are taking your jobs. You declare it so loudly the teacher hears you and everyone else hears you. Everyone else proceeds to move to the other side of the classroom away from you, at which point you are scolded by the teacher, put in time out for the rest of the week. You have to do your lessons in an isolated room.
Hang on, time out.
That's crazy.
In college. I mean,
No, that's completely
Starmageddon at its finest.
This has gotten rather deep now, hasn't it?
Yes. Well, it
really in the
certainly
weeds.
shouldn't be a thing in the first place.
The
Anyhow, please go ahead, Adam.
I think to jump back to what we originally stemmed off from there, which is the cost and what immigrants do for our country. Just to pull up gov.uk here, the cash support you get per day is £49.18 for each person in your household. You'll be
Per
given
day,
bed
by
and
the way.
breakfast.
Per day.
How many?
It's
How
quite a
many
lot.
asylum seekers are there?
Do you want to get that up for us?
Yes.
Bed and breakfast, flat, hostel, house. There are even stories of people being given multi-million-pound houses in London, and these are the kind of things which cause hostility towards immigrants, particularly those which do a lot for our country. Like you go into an NHS, particularly I've been in Fulham Hospital quite. Like you'll struggle to find people who have even parents who were born in this country.
Yeah. All of the people in my area are Indian in every single shop. I say in Indian, they're from
South
Asian.
Asian.
Oh, I don't
wherever in the
I don't
country
think
they may be.
I don't think England can survive without corner shops.
No, but I mean,
for
like
that, Luke.
everywhere, the pharmacy, the doctors,
England
the
is
post
corner
office.
shops. Okay. But there's nothing necessarily wrong with people coming to this country,
Oh, no, certainly
paying
not.
taxes and working. That's like the model of
That's
immigration.
the whole point of
working.
immigration.
Yeah.
I don't.
It gets to an extent.
It reaches a point when you've
Yeah.
got people crossing the channel daily,
risking their lives.
which is incredibly dangerous just from a human rights perspective. These people shouldn't be doing this. A lot of them are dying, women and children included. But also, is it women and children included? They're all I'm sorry, I'm going to have to use reform rhetoric here. Military-aged men.
I mean, most of them,
No,
yes.
they're
there's
not
occasional-
military.
Yes,
But
they
the
are.
thing
a
is-
lot of
Let's
them
pull up a
are. You
photo.
can get the
Can we
raw
pull up a
numbers.
photo or
You can
something?
get the
No,
raw
no,
numbers.
photos are banned.
They
You've
brag
got to
about
get
it. They
statistics.
record themselves on the boats and
With
saying, "Hello,
knives
Keir
going
Starmer.
over,
Thanks for
yeah.
welcoming me.
You know,
Thanks for
I
welcoming
think
me."
that Keir Starmer was almost there with his one in, one out. When he was doing these deals with France, I think that he should have said instead something like, "Oh yes, we'll take 25,000."
Why should we even take 25?
Listen,
Sorry,
listen.
okay.
We'll take 25,000 a year, and then every other person that comes over the border will be sent back, and that would deter a lot of people from coming. But no, I agree with what you're saying, Liga. But the thing is, you're never going to stop them all. You can never stop them all,
Yes.
and so we must simply
I
mitigate
mean,
the
Trump's
damage.
not doing a bad job at stopping them.
Oh, come on now. We're not going to.
There's always
Trump
going to be
being
some
the good
coming
guy.
out.
No,
Let's stay
by no
sensible.
means am I saying he's a good guy, but what he does is effective. It's just look at the numbers
What he
of
does is
people
very
going
bad,
in
though.
now.
I mean,
But
if
it's
you,
In your
effective.
opinion.
But also the numbers
effective
of
for who, though? I mean, who's actually benefiting from people getting arrested in the street?
Who is benefiting from giving benefits to illegal
Yeah.
immigrants who have no
How are
skills
we-
No,
and
nobody,
don't speak
nobody.
English?
How are we,
Okay.
the British
There's your
taxpayer,
answer, there's your answer.
benefiting when our taxpayer money? Obviously, I don't pay taxes. This is a hypothetical. How is the British taxpayer benefiting from funding up these asylum seekers in the
They're
hotels?
not, of course they're not.
They're not.
But the thing is, we can't help it. You know, we're bound by human rights law.
And
The
has it reached a point
ECHR.
then? There's another question. Has it reached a point where we are being bound a bit
Oh,
too
yes,
much?
Yes.
So what's your alternative? Do we leave?
No. Well, the thing is, even if we leave the ECHR, there's a lot of other things that may stop us. I don't know the
ECHR is
specifics of it.
leaving the ECHR is a terrible.
It's a terrible idea. Yep.
I mean, the Good Friday Agreement is fundamentally
very true.
built on the
And that's one of
ECHR.
the reasons why. This is unrelated, by the way. I've said many times I think we'll have a united Ireland by the end of the century. One of the reasons why is because if a Farage government were to come into place and we leave the ECHR, the Good Friday Agreement collapses and tension's going to arise. The party Sinn Féin, who are the leading in Northern Ireland right now, they are a Republican party. I do believe that by the end of the century, Ireland will be united, but that's a bit unrelated.
Well, on using Greenland logic, I mean, really, we should be taking over Ireland to protect their waters. I mean, I'm joking. I'm joking, of course.
Okay.
And what relation does that have to this?
Ireland spends 0.3% or something of its GDP on defence. They're a massive. I'm just airing grievances now. They're a massive weak link in our defence, and considering that almost all of the
So we must simply
transatlantic fibre
attack
optics
them.
cables. But what I'm saying is, you know.
Benny,
Who
can I
is
ask you
going
a
to
question?
attack Ireland, though?
Oh, well, we are to
We.
make sure that they can protect their waters.
I think there's some Russian ships going past Ireland recently.
Oh well, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
And Chinese.
They can't do anything about it because they have 5 operational coastal patrol.
And even then, what are they? Repurposed fishing boats. They're
Yeah,
not going to do anything.
Wait, Benny, or I'll ask this to Adam actually. Adam, can I ask you a question? Do you think we should have any illegal immigrants coming into this country? I mean, this is not illegal.
Oh, sorry.
This is
Can I just make the
illegal
point that illegal
Asylum,
immigrants make
okay.
up an incredibly small amount of the amount of
But
Yeah.
the question still stands.
Yep.
I do not think we should have illegal immigrants. I think we should have a better way of selecting who can come to the country.
Right.
So, in order to do that, we would have to let them in and process them, Adam, to decide who stays. and
Not
who goes. So
necessarily,
we're
we
still letting
could-
them in, unless you're going to propose an offshore solution.
Not necessarily. We could, like the Italians.
Benny,
Sorry to
can you?
interrupt Hassan.
yeah,
Let's-
just
Let's let Adam answer this question.
yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Adam.
I think that links more onto the fact that this is going to have more money spent on people in detainment centres. It's probably going to be more than the £50 a day that legal or asylum seekers are going to be given, with way more money being spent. Like, what's it per prisoner? 40 grand per year? I
Yeah.
reckon it's going to
Yeah,
be similar,
like that.
if not more, for an illegal immigrant. It's just an economic burden that we shouldn't be having.
Yeah.
If you're going to come to the country, I'm fine with coming to the country, but it must be legally.
Yeah, but it's not just about legal or illegal, because even legal migrants can be very dangerous. I mean, you think back to the Southport attacks, and recently with this man, I can't remember his name, that sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl, and then he was actually paid, £500 to leave the country.
Oh.
I mean, when it comes to things like this, you really do consider what is legal and what is illegal, because these people are allegedly background checked, you know, they're checked as they're murderers or if they've committed crimes, but you never really know where they're coming from. Please go ahead, Samson.
Adam raised an interesting point that it may cost more to get deport or house these
Detain.
illegal immigrants rather than to just keep them here in the current system. I'd just like to raise the point that to deport an illegal immigrant, it costs between £13,000 to £15,000. That's taken off the UK government website, which is cheaper than it costs to house them in asylum hotels.
Thank you
But
very much. We
deporting-
don't even have to let them land in England, to be
You've
honest.
got to consider that
But, okay.
Rishi Sunak, for instance, deported loads and loads of Albanian immigrants, and almost all of the Albanian immigrants that came to the country next year were just people coming back to then be deported again. Deportation isn't... you've got to consider that 13,000 isn't necessarily a one-time off.
But I'd say part of that is a lack of decisiveness in government, where there's this sort of lackadaisical mood around the issue of immigration. It's the whole reason why Reform UK is so popular now.
I think this is because there's no real solution, though. I mean, they're
I
trying
think
what
there
they
is
can.
a solution.
Go ahead, Luca.
My solution to illegal immigration is you do leave the ECHR
Push them back into the sea!
and you don't let them
You're
let them
not
into
Greece,
England.
mate.
And I mean, this is a controversial one. I'd be interested to see what Samson thinks about this with Rwanda scheme. But before Rishi Sunak came in, when Keir Starmer got elected, they were queuing in France to get over. They were waiting for the election result. If Sunak got in, they weren't going to go to England. All right. When Starmer got in, they were all over the next day. It was thousands, and it's been like that ever since. So I'd be curious to see what everyone here thinks of something like a Rwanda policy as a deterrent. Samson, that's directed to you,
I
really.
think deterrents are important in an issue like this, and I think Rwanda was a step in the right direction in terms of a deterrent. You need to set a precedent that you can't come to this country illegally. You go through the process and you come legally, as all the other hard-working immigrants do. Part of the reason why being illegal is so bad is not necessarily because of the cost you have on the British taxpayer, it's the cost you have on those who do the process legally, because they're now being drawn into this sort of scapegoated position. And you have good, decent people who work their way and they pay their taxes and they provide and contribute to society and they assimilate, who are now being branded as illegal aliens and dangerous in the same way that those who come to seek asylum or make that journey across the channel do. By having a deterrent in place, you're going to at least reduce the number of illegal immigration so that, in the very least, those who still make that journey can be deported and...
Deterrents haven't really worked in the past, have they?
I mean,
for example...
Speaking of
For
deterrents...
example, the one in, one out. I mean, that's not stopped. In fact, the numbers have actually increased.
One in, one
since
out
then.
was pretty shocking. I'm not
So,
going to say
so
the
Keir
other
Starmer
word I
did
was thinking.
describe it as a deterrent. He said this will deter people from crossing
did
the
it?
channel. No, it didn't,
No, it
exactly.
didn't.
So deterrents seem not to work.
The
I mean,
Rwanda...
okay,
the
well,
Ru- the
sorry,
Rwanda-
sorry,
Okay,
one-
go on, Alex.
sorry. But keep in mind, if people are willing to journey most of Europe and they're willing to risk their lives on a little dinghy coming across the channel, do you not think that they would be deterred by a deterrent if they are willing
because,
to?
I
risk
would
their
cross
lives?
the channel for all the benefits.
They're
that we're
doing
getting.
it.
In France, they're not getting any.
They're doing
hardly
it
any.
because Britain is soft
So we need to
on this
reform our
issue.
benefit system.
They're not staying in all the other countries because they turn them round and they
Yeah.
say, you need to find somewhere else to go.
Well,
And
maybe
they all
do stay in
wind up on this
Germany.
winding trail.
They
Oh, in
have the
fact-
same illegal immigration. We have the same illegal immigration rate as almost all of the rest of Europe.
No, but
Yeah, but we're over a channel, so that's the difference. You
If
can
you-
easily
if
get in,
you-
so
Well, no. We're actually not the largest at all. I mean, Germany is by far.
No, we're not the largest. But
Even
if
if-
you ask these immigrants where they've come from, and they tell you their journey,
That-
I've
that's
seen
your
so
homework
many
for you
where they
then,
tell you
Samson.
their journey.
Go and ask them.
I'm not going to do that.
Vietnam.
Obviously, you've got politicians to go and do that. Why should I go and do
Which
that?
politicians are going to
I've
ask?
actually
well,
what-
Zach Polanski was in.
Do you not
mean like GB News or
Before Nigel's return to politics, after the Brexit vote, he actually went over the channel multiple times in his own rubber dinghy, and he met with these immigrants and he asked them questions, and it was quite famous what he did. It does raise the fact that these immigrants have been here, there, and everywhere before they all wind up on that perilous journey across the channel into the safe hotel in the middle of Kent, and it's lovely.
Exactly. This is why I don't think that deterrents are going to work.
But if you look at the deterrent, most of the... I'm sure Adam's about to pull up a statistic where he tells you that actually recently arrival rates, net migration has dropped, but most of that is richer immigrants. It's people who are coming here to study or to work.
I'm bringing all their family with them as well to study. Or,
Yes.
you know.
That's your old granddad study.
And Benny,
Their
can I just
families
mention?
also usually. I mean, you're
Can-
not deterring the people who are coming in boats. You're deterring people who come here
It's
and
the
are
lack of
net contributors
decisiveness.
to the economy.
Okay, anyway, this is a great topic. Let's go on to our final question for today because we are
I'm
running.
so hungry.
Right, Adam. Right, Adam. What do you
Into the breach.
do? You think that immigrants should, or asylum seekers, sorry, do you think that asylum seekers should be able to get a job and earn a wage whilst they're still being processed? Like the same happens in France and Germany, I believe, where they are allowed to work before they're processed.
There's two ways of looking at this. There's the one thing that they're making their own way. They aren't using this almost £50 money that they're given per day by the government. Although you will have a lot of opposition from people, especially reform voters, they're taking our jobs. And it'll just heighten that.
Yeah, and that's already a big thing, isn't it? Taking our jobs.
If I just jump in
Go
on
ahead.
this, the key part of this is, do they pay tax? And if they do pay tax, do they pay as much as everybody else pays? And I don't think that they would. Perhaps that's quite a bold statement for me to make.
You don't think that they would be taxed as much? Why?
No, not that they would be taxed as much, that just the jobs that they would go into wouldn't contribute as much to society as they could if they immigrated in another way.
Okay, so say that we were to completely ditch the asylum hotels, which I don't know the logistics of, I don't know how possible that would be, and ditched all of the benefits and said, the moment you come over, we will security check you and whatever, and then we will allow you to get jobs and you can work and you can buy your own house. How do you think this would actually play out?
And this is for those asylum seekers, is it?
Was it for asylum seekers or
Asylum seekers, I'd say.
Asylum seekers. No, anyway, sorry.
Asylum seekers are...
You know, I have an asylum seeker in my church. He was actually a very nice guy, and he was the, what do you call it, the people who help children cross the road?
The
lollipop lady.
He was a lollipop man, actually, and the government took his job off him, I believe. If you're listening, sir, then if I've
Out
got the wrong, I'm
of
sorry.
curiosity, how much do they get paid? Lollipop
maybe
men.
80,
You don't get
maybe
paid.
not much. No.
Basically, I mean, it's
Minimum
part.
wage.
Minimum wage, surely.
That goes with Samson's point. It is not a very high-skilled job.
But the thing is,
I don't
the
know.
illegal work that they're doing isn't very high skilled anyway, and they're not contributing tax. So
I would much rather a job like that than have an illegal job or
Yeah.
doing something like Uber or similar related companies, not to target Uber or anything, but like a similar related company, like off the charts with no tax, with no idea the government knows, and they will likely still be getting that money from the government, so they'll be getting the doubling.
Oh no, the government do know, they just don't do anything about it.
they can't
That's
do anything
worse.
about it.
Can I propose something? Has anyone noticed all the litter on the streets recently? I mean, 5 days.
It's the asylum seekers. They're doing
No,
it
no,
all.
no, no, no.
I
I'm
know
not
where
blaming them.
Luke is going with
I'm
this. This is
Saying,
good.
I'm saying you've got 5 days a week. You work 5 days a week. You work 8 hours a day. You go and litter pick.
You go
You're-
litter
At least you're
picking.
working for your benefits. Then you're getting benefits from sitting in a hotel doing nothing. Go and do something productive. Go and help. Go and get graffiti.
Go
Off,
earn your
go and get
keep.
graffiti off the walls.
As
go and
wonderful as
litter
it
pick.
sounds,
Earn your way up.
I don't think
at
that it
least.
would be legal. I
And
think
what
it would
about
be
all
very
this?
difficult to put it in
So
place.
criminals who do crimes get put on community service, but we can't.
No,
put-
I
I think
agree
that's a very
entirely.
good take.
No, I agree entirely. But the thing is, practically, it would be very difficult to do. I mean, there'd be all these human rights. Oh, yeah, they've had so much trauma coming over the channel,
Deport
and
them.
you're traumatizing them even further by making them
So
pick up
difficult.
litter.
Yeah.
Just deport
I know.
them.
Just deport them.
Yeah.
Well, it's just not that simple, is it?
If
This
it's
is what
difficult,
everybody says.
you
This is what
send them
reform
packing.
says. They say, oh, just deport them. It's that simple. We leave the...
It will
So
be
go
that
on then,
simple. It
please
will be that
explain the
simple.
complexities of the process to me. What's so complex about taking in someone who crosses the channel illegally, saying, sorry, you're not welcome, go back?
Go back when?
I mean, it's much.
Go
Yeah,
back
that's-
across the
that's-
channel
It's
to
much,
France.
it's much easier to
come
tow the
back
boat
over.
back
Okay, yeah.
Do it
than
again.
put them in a hotel. It's much easier to turn the boat back than put them in a hotel. Bring them back to shore, get them in a hotel, get them processed. It's much easier to turn the boat back. So I agree with Samson.
Well, yeah.
Turn the boat
in,
back.
in theory, you'd want
Yes.
to turn the
out
boat
across
back.
The perilous journey across the channel where they have.
No,
20
escort
Well, it would
them.
deter
Escort
people.
them.
It would deter people.
Oh,
That
so
would be a big
you
deterrent.
drive them back over so they can come back over.
I
in
would
the same
tow them
boat.
back to France.
So how many times would how many times would you have to
There's
tow
only
them
so
back to
much
France?
these guys can take.
I think
eventually they'll die in the
within a
channel.
month.
I know. I think they're pretty persistent.
I think within a month, if we do this, our immigration levels are going rock bottom, and the people who do land are on community service.
I'm
No
curious,
one's
so
coming to England.
practically, like, how would that work? What would you put in place?
Well-
Our hands are tied by the law. We can't do much.
What, is this the community service?
No, this is about getting the boats and putting them back.
Well,
And as well as
you
the
could say
community
it's
service, in fact.
unethical to send them back to where,
Where
It's
they
not-
came from.
yes, I wouldn't want to say that. That's quite a manipulated, likely racist title now. However,
You'd want that to
I
happen,
don't
but-
see much wrong with France. Most of them have come from France,
Most of
and
them
France
country,
isn't
last
that
time I
bad of a
checked.
place.
Apart from the fact that the French are never going to let you do that.
Yes, but that's not our problem. Quite frankly, it's not our issue anymore.
Yeah, but the thing is, if France does stop you, then there's not much they can do.
Oh, big scary France. You can't even have their own government. Organise a government properly.
How many chancellors have they had, or prime ministers have they had in the last
I
what
think it's
year?
5 now.
No, I think
Five?
Marie Le
Well,
Pen.
I'm not sure if we
would
can
start
talk about
out,
that as.
but-
Bring back the guillotine.
Okay, but anyway, so overall, do you all think that giving asylum seekers the opportunity to be paid and have jobs would be beneficial?
I
Depends
think
case
it'd
to case.
So
decrease
one
the
person
amount
at once,
of
guys.
illegal work.
Sorry, say again.
I think with the great idea that Luke had before for like the community service kind of roles, it'd be optional, and if you didn't do it, you wouldn't get your money.
I know. Well, this is the ideal, but as I said, it's very difficult to actually put into practice.
Right, should we finish up?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
guys.
much. It's been a very interesting debate. And
As
great debate.
always.
Glad that we can do it civilly and respectfully. Thank you
Civilly
very
and
much.
respectfully.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's great. This episode is sponsored by Montrose Health Group.
They offer personalised ADHD and mental health assessments, both in person and online.
If you're looking for trusted care, visit them at montrosehealthgroup.com to book today.